Look, after all of this, look at what Jesus says. Then his disciples, when they heard him, when this young man went away and he heard he was sorrowful with great possessions of this world, listen to Jesus. Assuredly, I say to you that it is hard for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And again, I say to you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Now listen to the disciples. They understood exactly what Jesus was saying. But do you understand what the rich young ruler represented to the disciples? You see, he was part of the Pharisees. He thought there was life after death. The Sadducees didn't. There's a resurrection. So the young man was a Pharisee. All right. The disciples at this time still believed that the Pharisees were righteous and they were the sinners. Pharisees were the righteous and saved because they did all the right things. They tithed, they prayed, they fast, they did all the righteous works that Paul listed in Philippians. Jesus just said they can't go to heaven. Now listen to the disciples. When they heard it, they were astonished, greatly astonished. Why? Because if those righteous people, if those religious priests can't go to heaven, look at the conclusion they come to. Who in the world, if those people can't be saved, who can be saved? Look at what Jesus says. He looked at them straight in the eyes and he said, with men, and it doesn't matter what they do. Salvation they're talking about. That's what they asked him about, salvation. Who can be saved, Jesus? With men, salvation. This is right here. Salvation is impossible. With men, salvation is impossible. Can you come to Christ? No. Can you be saved? No. But with God, all things are possible. So you see what happens here? Salvation is impossible to the religious. Salvation is impossible to the non-religious. Salvation is possible with God and only with God. If you're trying to get it somewhere else, some other way, through your self-effort, through your prayer, through your church attendance, through whatever it is that you think you have to do, that's exactly what the rich young ruler asked. All these things I've done since my youth. What do I still lack? What do I have to do? Jesus said, you got a problem. But if you want to be what? Perfect. Think about what he just said. Go sell what you have and give it to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Come follow me. So was God telling him you have to sell everything just to go to heaven? No. No, you see. God was telling him the only thing you need is me. That's what God was telling him. You got too much stuff. You mean physical stuff? No, man. You sin. You got to get rid of that. The only thing you need is me. All right. Look at this. It's Christ to those kind of people. It's Christ plus righteous works or religious works. It's Christ plus to the Jew, the Torah. It's Christ plus the law. It's Christ plus circumcision. It's Christ plus the sacrifices. To us today, it's Christ plus church attendance, Christ plus water baptism, Christ plus, 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 plus. Got to know. Those are not acceptable payments for sin. I only have one. I only have one method of not executing my righteous judgment on the sinner, and that is my son. That's it. You can have all this other stuff, and you're going to get the righteous judgment of a holy God, and he's going to cast you into a lake of fire where there's going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For every priest stands ministering daily and offering repeatedly the same sacrifices. What is that? The same sacrifice? Your behavior, your modification of behavior, your activities. What am I going to give up for Christ? What are you going to give up for Christ, man? You can't give. The Bible just said when we first started this that all your deeds are evil. So how are you going to give up something when he said you love him? How are you going to give up something when he says you hate God and that you won't come to God because you loved the darkness? How are you going to give that up? You're just like the rich young ruler. You can't. You need Christ, friends. Those kind of things can never. Here's the problem with going to church. Here's the problem with all of that. Your problem isn't the fact that you don't go to church. Your problem isn't the fact that you don't pray. Your problem is you got sin, man. You got to get rid of it. How are you going to do that? How are you going to get rid of your sin? That's really the question. The question isn't how I'm going to modify my behavior. The question is, to a holy, righteous God who said that if you show up in my presence with sin, I am going to kill you and cast you into hell. How do you get rid of your sin? What does the scripture say?